Hi everyone, and welcome to our third model. Our third model is gorgeous Michelle, and what we're going to demonstrate in this scenario is yet another way we get to use our clean liquids. With clean liquids, we have the ability to do gray blending. Now the great thing with gray blending is we will not give you a percentage of gray that we work with, because when we look at it, if your guest is 25% gray, we will blend that 25% gray back in. If your guest is 50% gray, it'll blend the 50%. Likewise with 100% gray, it's all about blending that gray back in. So there's no percentage attached to your gray blending. We're going to take our naturals, our 0.0s. They are, when you look at them on the color wheel, they have a slight warm reflect. The reason we've done that in clean liquids is when you're lifting color, you expose underlying pigment and warmth, and that's where, for example, in core color, your naturals have a blue to violet reflect, because we need to counteract that underlying pigment that is lifted. With clean liquids, there is zero lift on natural hair at all, so there is no need to have counteractive properties in your naturals. So what we've done to mimic that natural feel is given the 0.0 or the natural a slight golden reflect, and if you have a look at Michelle's gorgeous hair tone, she already lives in that realm of having a beautiful, rich golden tone to it. So what we've done is we've mixed up a natural, a 0.0 with a 0.3 in the percentage that we have as far as gray present, and we've worked roughly around the 50% mark. So we've gone half with natural, half with a 0.3. We're going to apply that to the root area, and then what we're going to do is we're going to showcase what the clear does in liquids. The clear in liquids is an incredible product, because what it does is it actually dilutes the tone level and reflect in the color that we have already mixed in the bowl. So keeping it exactly the same as what we're doing on the root area, just glossing up the ends with the same color. Whatever is left in the bowl, we're going to add probably 20 mils of clear with 20 mils of activator, mix that up, and then pull that through just for some gloss and shine with a very diluted version of what is going on to Michelle's roots. Let's get started. Just going to section again off to make it really easy with regards to applying the color. And you'll notice here I'm using a regular tint brush. The reason I'm using a regular tint brush is and I just tilt Michelle's head down just a little bit, you can see there's a regrowth in there. The regrowth is fairly small. So going in with a regular tint brush, it's 100% perfect to use with the liquids color, but what you're going to find is it's really easy to just dab exactly where we need it. And here we go. You'll notice the tone on the color as we're applying it. We've mixed in the 0.3. The 0.3s have a fairly strong reflect in them. Don't be afraid, like everything with O&M, trust the color that you've mixed up, apply it to where you need it, and just let it do what it's designed to do. The color itself is exceptionally predictable, and like with everything we do at O&M, trust the color, it'll always give you that perfect result. Again, once I have done my sections, in terms of my quadrants, it just makes it super easy for me to now work my way through, applying the color right through to the root or the regrowth area that contains the gray. For your gray coverage option with liquids, you want to process these for maximum time. So once we've applied, we're going to set our timer and process these for 30 minutes. Again, just recapping on timing options. If you're doing a gloss or a tone on your guest and she's got very sensitized hair, you can process that for 10 minutes. For regular toning, you can go up to 20 minutes. And then for anything where you're doing the world of color correction or gray blending, you can process for maximum saturation for 30 minutes. The great thing is now you'll see once we've done that root application, we still have some color left in the bowl. As explained a little earlier, we're going to add 20 grams of clear with 20 grams of activator in here, mix that up, and it's just going to give us a diluted and pasteurized version of what's on Michelle's regrowth, and that's going to tie those mids and ends together and just add a beautiful high shine gloss of the same tone on a diluted level through those mids and ends, creating that beautiful, healthy, fresh look. So we've now completed the color application, and we've got that pasteurized and diluted version of Michelle's root color through the mids and the ends. And again, just summarizing, as a gray blending option, we want to process those roots for 30 minutes. We're glossing the mids and the ends up, so we're now going to set a timer for 15 minutes. Let this all process so we can remove it at the same time. As far as the removal process goes, again, just always bear in mind when removing the liquids, a light shampoo followed by a conditioner, because we have that beautiful nourishing oil complex containing your acai fruit oil, your macadamia oil, you've got prickly pear seed oil, and your chamomile flower extract. You want to give it a light shampoo to remove the color from the hair and finish off with a conditioner, and then we'll bring Michelle back after we've styled her out so we can showcase the final result. Thank you. So here we have our gorgeous model Michelle. Now remember, the category that we were using and displaying in terms of what Clean Liquids can do here was our gray blending service. In consultation, we ascertained that Michelle was sitting just below the 50% gray, and what we wanted to do is add color to that gray without covering it. So what you'll find is during the growth process, that color that we've placed onto that regrowth will gently fade out of the hair. You'll see when we have a look at the color results that we've got, we have got an incredible soft blend on that regrowth where that gray was. And remember, we added clear into the bowl with the leftover color, and what that did is pasteurize that tone down that we've used on the root area and refreshed those mids and those ends, so creating a really beautiful refreshed color look for Michelle without going in and doing something in a permanent nature. For Michelle's color formula, what we decided to do is we wanted to create that blending option. So we decided to use the 0.0 and then work with the natural gold that Michelle has in her hair. So the formula that we used is we used 5 grams of 6.0. We then added in 15 grams of 7.0. The reason we put a little bit of the 6.0 was just to create a little bit of depth at the root area, giving us that ability to just blend that gray a little bit more. And then as far as the tone goes, we added in 15 grams of 7.3. We mixed this in a 1-to-1 mixing ratio, and then there was probably about 10 mils of color still left in the bowl, and to that we added 20 grams of clear and 20 mils of 1.8% activator, mixed that up, took it through the mids and ends just to refresh and add a little bit of high shine and a diluted version of the root tone color through to those mids and ends, giving Michelle a complete makeover that is something that just is super bright, super fresh, but yet still super natural.